Let me paint you a picture. You wake up before most people. You show up. You put in the hours, sometimes more hours than anyone around you. You're not lazy. You're not careless. You're not someone who sits around making excuses. You actually work hard. And yet, at the end of the month, you look at your bank account, and it looks almost identical to what it looked like last month, and the month before that, and the month before that. You're busy. You're exhausted. And somehow, you're still in the same place. If that hits close to home, I need you to stay with me for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Because what I'm about to tell you is not what your boss told you, not what your parents told you, and definitely not what any motivational poster on the internet told you. The reason you're working hard and not getting ahead has almost nothing to do with how hard you're working.
My name is Alex, and I spend way too much time thinking about why hardworking people never seem to catch a break financially. If you're someone who genuinely puts in the effort every single day, but still feels like you're running on a treadmill going nowhere, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you out. All right, let's get into it. The lie we were all sold. Here's the thing. We were all handed the same script growing up. Work hard. Put in the hours, be reliable, show up, and eventually, it'll pay off. And look, I'm not here to tell you that hard work doesn't matter. It does. But here's what nobody told us. Hard work is the entry fee. It's not the strategy.
Here's the picture.
Think about it this way. Imagine two people at a gym. Person A shows up every single day, runs on the treadmill for an hour, works up a sweat, feels exhausted afterward, goes home. Person B shows up 3 days a week, has a specific program, tracks their progress, adjusts based on results, takes rest days intentionally. 6 months later, who do you think looks better? Almost every time, it's person B. Not because they worked harder, because they worked smarter, inside a system designed to actually produce results. Here's what most people don't realize. The economy doesn't reward effort. It rewards output. It rewards leverage. It rewards being in the right position. And effort without those things? It just produces more effort. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has data showing that Americans are working more hours per week than at almost any point in the last 30 years. And yet real wages, the actual purchasing power of what you take home, have barely moved since the 1970s when you adjust for inflation. We are collectively working more and gaining less. That is not a personal failure. That is a systemic reality that nobody is explaining to you. So if you've been blaming yourself, stop. The game is set up in a specific way, and nobody gave you the rulebook.
What's actually happening in your brain? This is where it gets really interesting. There's a psychological concept called the Effort Justification Trap. And it basically means this. The more effort we put into something, the more we believe it must be working, even when it isn't. Here's the thing. Your brain is wired to equate effort with progress. Busyness feels like productivity. Exhaustion feels like sacrifice. And sacrifice feels like it must be leading somewhere. But feeling busy and actually moving forward are two completely different things. And the brain cannot always tell the difference. Let me give you a real example of this. There was a study done at Harvard Business School, and they found that people who were constantly busy and task switching throughout the day actually reported feeling more productive than people who had focused, strategic work blocks. But when they measured actual output, the focused group produced significantly more in less time. We are addicted to the feeling of working, not the results of working. And this is dangerous because it means you can spend years, literal years, feeling like you're grinding, feeling like you're sacrificing, feeling like you're doing what you're supposed to do, while the needle barely moves. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Alex, but I'm not just busy for the sake of being busy. I'm doing real work, important work. And I believe you. I genuinely do. But here's the question I want you to sit with.
Is the work you're doing every day moving you closer to where you actually want to be? Or is it keeping a system running that mostly benefits someone else? Because there's a very big difference between working hard for your future and working hard to maintain your present. Most people are doing the second one. And the worst part? It feels exactly the same from the inside.
The numbers that change everything. Look, I want to show you something with actual math, because this is where the really wake-up call lives. Let's say you make $60,000 a year. That's roughly the median American household income for a single earner. You work 50 weeks a year, 45 hours a week. That's 2,250 hours of your life every single year. $60,000 divided by 2,250 hours of your life equals roughly $26.67 per hour of your actual life. Now, that's $60,000 after federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, Medicare. You're probably taking home somewhere around $44,000 to $46,000. Let's call it $45,000. $45,000 divided by 2,250 hours of your life equals $20 per hour of your real life. Now, here's where it gets really uncomfortable. The average American spends about $1,500 per year on coffee and dining out. At $20 real hourly rate, that's 75 hours of your life for coffee and restaurants. The average car payment in America right now is $735 per month. That's $8,820 per year. At $20 per hour, that is 441 hours of your life every year just for the car. And this isn't about shame. This is about visibility. Most people have never done this calculation. They see a $735 monthly payment and think, I can handle that. They don't think, I am trading 441 hours of my one life for this car every single year. Here's what most people don't realize. Your spending is not measured in dollars. It is measured in hours of your life. And when you start seeing it that way, everything changes. Now, let me show you the other side of this math. If you took $500 per month, that's 25 hours of your life monthly at our $20 rate, and invested it consistently into a broad index fund, returning the historical average of roughly 8% annually, in 30 years, you would have approximately $745,000. That same $500 per month spent on things that don't grow, restaurants, subscriptions, upgrades, things you barely remember buying, produces exactly zero in 30 years. Same 25 hours. Why hard work alone will never be enough. Okay, so now let's get specific, because there are three specific things, three invisible traps that keep hardworking people stuck, and I want to name all three. Trap 1. You are trading time for money with no ceiling. Here's the fundamental problem with most people's income structure. It is completely linear. You trade 1 hour, you get one payment. You trade another hour, you get another payment. You stop trading hours, the payments stop. There is a ceiling on how many hours any human being can work, which means there is a ceiling on how much you can earn inside this model. The people who get ahead financially, not all of them, but most of them, have found ways to earn money that is not directly tied to their hours. A product, a skill that scales, an investment that compounds, a system that runs without them. This doesn't mean quit your job tomorrow. It means start building something alongside your job that doesn't have a ceiling. Even $200 a month in passive income or investment returns is the beginning of a completely different trajectory. Trap 2. Lifestyle inflation is eating every raise you get. This one is silent and brutal. You get a raise. Fantastic. But then, almost automatically, the spending adjusts. The car gets a little nicer. The apartment gets a little bigger. The dinners get a little more expensive. The subscriptions stack a little higher. And a year later, despite earning more, you somehow feel the same financial pressure you felt before the raise. This is called lifestyle creep, and it is one of the most powerful and underestimated forces in personal finance. Here's the thing. I'm not saying don't enjoy your money, but most lifestyle inflation happens unconsciously.
It happens by default, not by choice. The antidote is simple in theory and genuinely hard in practice. Every time your income goes up, automate a percentage of that increase into savings or investments before your lifestyle has time to absorb it. Make the decision once, then let the system run. Trap 3. You are optimizing the wrong variable. This might be the most important one.
The shift that changes everything. Look, I don't want to just leave you with problems. I want to give you something you can actually use starting today. Here are 3 things, just 3, that if you implement them this week, you will be in a fundamentally different financial position in 12 months. 1. Calculate your actual hourly rate of life. Take your after-tax monthly income. Divide it by the actual hours you spend working, including commute, preparation, recovery time. That number is your real hourly rate. Then start looking at your expenses in those terms, not dollars, hours of your life. It rewires how you make decisions immediately. 2. Automate the gap before lifestyle absorbs it. Set up an automatic transfer, whatever amount you can manage, to a savings or investment account on the same day your paycheck hits. Not after you've spent the month. Before. Even $100 per month invested consistently from age 25 to 65 at 8% annual return becomes approximately $351,000. The amount matters less than the automation. Start the system today. 3. Identify one skill or asset that can earn without your hours. This doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be a skill you already have that you could offer on a freelance basis. It can be a small investment that generates dividends. It can be content you create once that earns views over time. The point is to begin building something, anything, that earns without requiring your direct time in a one-to-one trade. 1 hour of effort building something that scales is worth more over time than 10 hours of effort that earns once and disappears.
The real reason nobody told you this stuff. Here's why nobody told you this stuff. The system works very well when everyone stays on the treadmill. When everyone trades hours for dollars, spends those dollars immediately, and then needs to trade more hours to replace them. That cycle is incredibly profitable for the people who designed it, not for you. Understanding this is not about cynicism. It is not about giving up. It is about waking up to the reality that nobody is coming to hand you a better system. You have to go build one. And here's what I know. You already have the most important ingredient. You are willing to work hard. That is not nothing. That is everything. Most people are not even willing to start. The only thing that's been missing is direction, strategy, a system that actually converts your effort into progress instead of just producing more exhaustion. You now have that. The question is what you do with it starting today, not next month, not when things calm down. Today. Because the gap between where you are and where you want to be is not going to close on its own. But it will close, faster than you think, once your effort starts moving in the right direction.
If this video gave you one new way of thinking about your situation, hit the thumbs up. It genuinely helps more people find this content. Drop in the comments, what is the one trap from today's video that hit closest to home for you? The time for money ceiling? Lifestyle creep? Optimizing the wrong variable? I read every single comment. Tell me. And if you want to go deeper on any of this, the psychology of money, the math of building wealth, the specific steps for different ages and situations, subscribe. That is exactly what this channel is built for. I will see you in the next one.